Hi there, my name's Hayley and I like to make cool warm things. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a low sew bumblebee keyring that's perfect for markets. Check the description for the pattern. So to get started we are going to take our yellow yarn and we're going to use 3 strands of yarn from one ball. So fold your yarn over and fold it over again. And using these 3 strands together, we're going to make a magic ring. So I like to do this by wrapping the yarn around my fingers, creating a cross, insert the hook, yarn over and pull that through, making sure you get all 3 strands. Yarn over, pull that through, and yarn over and pull that through. Then we're going to make 6 single crochets into our magic ring, but we're going to run out of our 3 strands before we get to that. So if you pull the yarn through the loop like that, you can create your 3 strands again. So to start our single crochet, we are going to go into the magic ring, yarn over the hook, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. So we're making 6 single crochets. And then we're going to pull on the tail end, but remember your tail end will be a single strand and a loop. Then we're going to pull on that to close our magic ring and slip stitch into that first stitch to join. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through and pull through again. And at the end of round 1 you'll have 6 stitches. To start round 2 we are going to chain 1. And then we're going to increase into each stitch around, or make 2 single crochets in each stitch. We're going to slip stitch to that first stitch to join, and at the end of round 2 you'll have 12 stitches. To start round 3 we are going to chain 1 and then work a single crochet in the first stitch and an increase in the second stitch, and we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So a single crochet and then an increase in the next stitch. And at the end of the round we are going to slip stitch to that first stitch to join, and at the end of round 3 we'll have 18 stitches. To start round 4 we're going to chain 1 and then just work a single crochet into each stitch around. A little tip here is to not pull through too much yarn for your 3 strands because we'll be changing colour on the next round. Slip stitch to that first stitch to join, and at the end of round 4 we'll have 18 single crochets. We're going to fasten off the yellow, so yarn over, pull through and keep pulling. You don't need a long tail for this. Snip off your end and pull that through. Next we're going to add our black yarn and we're going to make our 3 strands just like we did before. And when I'm changing colour, I like to join the yarn into the slip stitch because I think it just looks a bit neater. So we're just pulling that yarn through. I like to tie a knot. Pull that through again and chain 1 to get started with round 5, and then just work a single crochet into each stitch around. And then we're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join and fasten off the black. And at the end of round 5 you'll still have 18 single crochets. We're going to join back in the yellow using our 3 strands again. Chain 1 and then just work a single crochet into each stitch around. Slip stitch into that first stitch to join and fasten off our yellow. Add back in our black, again with our 3 strands. And we're just repeating this, alternating between working a round in black and a round in yellow until the end of round 10. And round 10 will be yellow. So I've just finished round 10 and I'm going to add my eyes. So I like to put the slip stitches to the bottom. and add my eyes between rounds 2 and 3. Just add the backers in there. What I would say is if you can hold the ends out of the way whilst you add the backers, it does make it a lot easier, and kind of turn them inside out a little bit. And at the end of round 10, we are going to fasten off this yellow. And work round 11 in black. So we're going to add that in. And then work a single crochet in the first stitch and then a decrease in the next one. To work a decrease, I like to go into the front loop of the stitch, through the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we're just repeating that all the way around. Slip stitch to that first stitch to join, and at the end of round 11 we'll have 12 single crochets. I'm going to start round 12 with a chain 1, push in all of my ends and then add some stuffing. I like to push the stuffing to the side, leaving like a gap in the middle, so it's easier to add more stuff in and it doesn't turn out lumpy. So continuing with round 12, we are just going to decrease all the way around. And before I slip stitch to the first stitch to join, I'm going to add just a little bit more stuff in, because I like mine to be quite firm. Then I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch to join, and then fasten off. I'm going to take a second now to close the hole and to sew in my end. Just tying that off and sewing it in. I'm going to get some peach yarn, you could use pink as well. And I'm just folding that over, adding that onto my sewing needle, but I'm adding the loop to the end so I can use that to tie on, and I'm just going to make his little cheeks here. I working back and forth until I'm happy with the size. Move across to the other side and do the same thing. Tie that off and sew in the end. Doing the same thing with some black yarn. Folding that over, adding it onto my sewing needle with a loop to the end so it's easy to join, and I'm just going to embroider on a little smile. Just following the curve of the round. If you find that some of your stitches have gone too tight, you can pull them up just a little bit so they stand out a little bit more. And then we're just going to tie that off. And I'm going to pull the end up to around the center of the top and tie that off up there and leave that for sewing on the keyring. So the next part we're going to make are the wings, so we are going to use 3 strands of white yarn, and make a magic ring. Work 6 single crochets into the magic ring, pull our magic ring closed, slip stitch to that first stitch to join, and at the end of round 1 we'll have 6 single crochets. To start round 2 we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to increase into each stitch around, or make 2 single crochets in each stitch. And we're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join, and fasten off. We're going to need a bit of a tail for this because we're going to be sewing them on. And of course you're going to need 2, so go ahead and make the second one. So now that we've got our wings finished, we are going to sew them on. So first of all, take your tail from your magic ring and we are going to tie that off just to secure it, and then work down the slip stitches to kind of weave the end in a little bit, and then we're just going to add it to round 6 around the middle. I like to put the right side to the outside, keeping the wrong side to the inside. So we just need a couple of stitches to secure that in. we can tie it to the other tail. And then just sew both of those ends in. And we're going to take our other wing and just do exactly the same thing. Secure your magic ring and work down the slip stitches. Put the right side to the outside and just sewing in that same stitch. Tie off with the other tail. And just sew in that end in. And our wings are added. The last thing you can do is add a keyring. So with my black yarn from earlier, I'm just going to work through the jump ring, just back and forth a couple of times, just to secure it in place. And tie that off. So in your end, and our bumblebee keyring is finished.
Hooked with Hayley, where dreams are spun. Together we weave until the work is done.